Peace, everybody. This Medicine Man. It's a wonderful day in the world. How everybody doing? Today we talking about, I wanted to just get with everybody today about that Kundalini Rising, the Kundala, and talk about, for the most part, and talk about how the Kundalini energy actually works, um, how we can actually rise that energy, what that energy is, and things of that nature. So for the most part, when we talk about the Kundalini energy, the Kundala, you know, we talking about a energy field of the human body. Okay, some of this stuff come from ancient Egypt, of course, ancient Kemet, where when we talking about the rising of the Kundala, the rising of the raw energy force, life field force, in ancient China, this phenomenon was talked about under the premises of the Qi Kong, the Qi energy, the Qi energy that flows through the meridian systems of the body. The meridian systems of the body, it flows through your central nervous system. You see, understanding the meridian system is also important in understanding the healing aspects of healing yourself, self-healing, Reiki, using the raw energy force. Now, this raw energy force field that travels through the body, through your central nervous system, see, it's all, anywhere where your central nerves are located, especially in large quantities, is where you're going to find higher concentrations of this raw force, chi energy, this Kundalini energy. In African traditions, we are all taught in African traditions that your head spirit is the most important. One of the reasons why your head spirit is the most important, why it's held that your head spirit is the most important spirit, is because within your brain is a cluster of nerve cells, a cluster of them. It's like a big, huge ball of wrapped up nerve, just like big strings, all wrapped up and everything all together. What happens there is it creates an energy field as you think. Every thought that crosses your mind, every idea that crosses your mind, this ball, it just radiates, it energizes, it radiates. And because it radiates at a high frequency, it creates an energy field. This energy field is what people call your guardian spirit. This energy field is what some people call your head spirit. But it's when this energy field is fully activated, fully actualized, that it radiates and it becomes a force in your life that actually affects your life. What that says is that this is one area of our mind, our brain, the central nerves, where this spiritual force can live, the spiritual energy field can live. It's one place. The next place within the human body that's not often talked about, that's not even mentioned by some people, but there is a part in the human body that has just as much nerve cells, just as much or just as strong as an energy field as the energy field in your head, around your head spirit, so to say. In your gut. This is where it's at, the gut. Scientists today talk about the gut-brain connection. And what we see from the gut-brain connection is that you can be disturbed here and you can be disturbed here. You see? You can be actualized here, where you actualize all of your fullest potentials and you radiate your energy field in your head. You also can radiate your energy field in your gut. We always talking about the gut feeling, right? That gut feeling is that feeling that hits you right here. Boom. Man, I better not do that. Or boom. This is a great idea. That gut feeling that hit us is that energy field as it awakens. It awakens, actualizes. Now, one thing scientists say about the gut-brain connection and dealing with cellular memory is that in your brain, there is memory. But all throughout your body, there is memory. You see? I'm going to bring that back. Throughout your brain, there is memory, meaning that your brain stores memory. Your brain stores events. Your brain stores ideas. Your brain stores experiences that you've been through. But every cell in your body also record those things. Every cell in your body also record your experiences, what you've learned, what you're seeing, what you're hearing. So memory is not only exclusive to the brain. Memory is exclusive to wherever these particular cellular memories are stored. And one of the major places other than the brain that your cellular memory, your memories, your programmings, and everything is stored is in your gut. Why? Because the gut area has just as much of a cluster of brain cells, of neurons that your brain has. So there's just as much potential for storage of energy, the potential for storage of memories in your gut. So from a magical perspective, what are we saying? When we're talking about, especially talking about the rising of the Kundalini energy, what are we talking about? We're talking about rising this energy, that gut feeling, bringing it up, bringing that gut feeling up. And when we do that, we have to intune ourselves with it. You see? We have to intune ourselves with the gut feeling energy and rise it up. In many circles, this gut feeling energy is also called the ancestral energy, your ancestral power. Well, it's an ancient energy, and it flows through the body. It has that memory all throughout your body. Like we said earlier, the memory is there. You know what I mean? We possess that memory, that collective cosmic memory, to be able to travel other dimensions, to be able to travel back in time, to be able to travel forward in time. Because remember, time is just complacent to this place here. Time is just sacred here. Because in the spirit realm, there's no need for a watch. There's no need for time. Time doesn't exist there. It only exists where we measure the distance between one event to the next event is the reason for time. But those things don't exist in the spiritual realm. All right, hi, Elizabeth Parker. How everybody doing? This medicine man, y'all know I'm going to be here for a second. Let's look at, since we're talking about the Kundalini, let's look at healing. When you look at the ambulances, the ambulance, EMS, the medical field, we find the caduceus, which is the staff of Tahuti with the two serpents wrapped around it to the top, right? This actual process is actually happening within the human body, with your spine and your nerves that wraps around it, forms the human caduceus within you, meaning that you have the ability to heal yourself. You are a healer. It is a sign of power. And this is our biogeometric pattern that's in our body, is with the spine. If we look at the spinal cord and how the spinal cord is wrapped with nerves, and the disc that's in our spine, the natural disc that's in our spine naturally, and we make that comparison to the Kundalini system, where the 7 chakras, and even within the 7 chakras, they tell you there are more than 7. If there's a chakra here, there's a chakra there. If there's a front, there's a back. So if there's 7 chakras, there's actually 14. You see? Because for every one side of a chakra has the other side, yin and yang, right? Everything has a dual nature, duality. So when we're dealing with one aspect of the chakras, there's another aspect. So there's 14 chakras originally. The 7 is just basic fundamentals. Once you start understanding the other aspect, do you realize there are 14? Why are there 14 chakras? Okay? Why? Let's look at the zodiac. How many signs are in the zodiac? Huh? How many signs are in the zodiac? Listen to me, man. Somebody drop it on me. Come on now. Somebody take the air bugs out and and drop it on me. How many signs in the zodiac? What, 12, 13, 14? I don't know. Y'all enlighten me. 12 signs of the zodiac. All right. Let me get my screen right. So we got 12 signs of the zodiac. And we got 14 chakras, right? 14. All right. When we look at the 12 signs of the zodiac, there are 12 houses, 12 aspects. Now, there is 12 points of man. You know what I mean? One of the secrets of occult mysteries is that man is represented by the number 6. Okay? And the number 6, it just goes deeper than that, but man is represented by the number 6. So we can talk about the Leviathan, the 666 beast, briefly too. Because in the book of Revelations, in the Bible, it talks about the Leviathan. But what is the Leviathan? Leviathan. Levi is the tribe of Levi. Yeah. But Levi means law. In Hebrew, it means law. Atan means a breaker. So when you put those two words together, you have a lawbreaker. The Leviathan is a lawbreaker, an oath breaker, a pact breaker. One who makes an agreement and then he goes back on that agreement and says, I ain't doing it no more. Fuck it. That's a Leviathan. The Leviathan is represented by the number 666. You see? So that oath breaker is man. Who else got the ability to break the law of nature? You. Because the birds follow the law of nature. The ants follow the law of nature. The bears follow the law of nature. Every species of plant follows the law of nature. They bloom a certain time of year, and they wither away a certain time of year. But man is the only species on this planet that has the ability to break a law. Everybody else is just naturally in tune and stuck with it like Chuck. We're the only ones that have the ability to break the law. And we're the only ones that actually even think about it. You know? You're laughing at the bunny rabbits. The bunny rabbits ain't dumb enough to stick their head out the hole certain times a year because there's a hungry animal waiting to take it off. So they follow the law. You see? The groundhogs follow a law. Us, we too busy trying to write a law, write our own law. You know, I'm write this law right there. I do what I won't do. Yeah, you do that. Yeah, do that. But then when that law that you write is not in, it doesn't coincide with the law of nature, the law of gravity, then guess what happens? You jump off that bridge, you're going down. Boom, fast. Because that law that you wrote for yourself did not coincide with the law of nature. Did not coincide with the law of gravity. So when you jumped off that bridge, you went down fast. You see? This is why being in tune with nature is important. This is why our ancestors observed nature. They observed. I spoke about earlier about, you know, I don't want to get all the way into Shaolin Kung Fu and all of that, but it really ties in. Because what the Shaolin monks did was they observed the animals and they observed the animal movements. And by them observing the animal movements, they made movements of self-defense for themselves. They made movements of meditation. When animals moved gracefully, what they actually did was mimic those movements. And they moved gracefully. You see? And because they moved gracefully, what ended up happening is they learned moving techniques of meditation. Moving techniques of concentration and focusing their energy and directing their energy towards a specific purpose. See? And this is what martial arts originally started as. And then they got into the combat, knocking people's heads off in UFC and all, you know, the modernized stuff. But it originally started as a spiritual practice and part of a spiritual science that was more complete than what it is now, you know, for the most part. But when we're talking about the Kundalini, now I jumped off of the subject of the 14 and the 12 chakras. Because there are 14 chakras, and then there's 12 signs of the zodiac. You see, each one of your chakras has to be aligned with a particular house, or should be aligned with a particular house in the zodiac. And I know that's kind of a little bit over everybody's head, but when you align your chakra, your so-called chakra, which is your energy center, which just saying that you have several different parts of you. But the several different parts all have alternate realities themselves. Which means that the several different parts are really 2 in 1, which makes it 14. And now these 14 signs of the zodiac. 14 is 2 numbers, right? What 2 numbers? The 2 highest numbers you have in 14 is 7. 7 and 7 is 14. But what is the number 7? 7 is a number that represents divinity, authority. You see? So when you put 7 and 7 together, 14, it explains your divinity and the authority that you have over yourself and over nature. You see? So this is what the 14 actual chakras are for, to empower you to be able to control yourself and to be able to control nature, which is yourself. You see? You are nature and nature is you. It's all one. You have to understand that we all are mirrors of what we observe. What's out there is also in here. It's only a reflection, and this is why we perform rituals, because the rituals actualize. Rituals actualize what we mirror from within ourselves. Put it like that. You know, so when we raising the Kundalini energy, man, it's like when we're raising our Kundalini energy, we have to balance ourselves. Now, everybody, we always talking about balance and everybody getting this balance. But, you know, when you're doing that meditational ritual, the balance begins in your feet. Okay? You can't stand up straight unless you're balanced, right? Right. But if you stand on one leg, you're going to be like wobbling, trying to, you know, get your balance, trying to catch it. But when you stand with your feet firmly planted, this is where the grounding happens. Now, most people, when they stand firmly planted, you want to have some type of clearing stone placed between your feet. And this is a jewel. The purpose of the clearing stone between your feet is to balance the energies that flow from your negative and positive polarities. Because these negative and positive polarities are actually at the bottom of your feet. The same way that they are in the palm of your hands. Okay? Polarities. Yeah, polarity. Everybody's different. Some people got hot energy coming out of here. Some people got cold energy coming out of here. Some people got hot energy coming out of here. Some people got cold energy going out of there. It just kind of depends on the person and how their energy kind of rotates around their body. But under your feet is where these different polarities are. You know, you cap them up. Sometimes it's positive here, negative there. Sometimes it's negative there, positive there. But that's why you want to put a grounding stone in between your feet. Helps out a lot. You know, the grounding stone helps out for all the energy that dissipates and kind of sparks at the bottom of your feet. You know, tingling sensation that'd be under your feet. As the energy kind of does that, the stone collects it. And then you go and you do what you need to do with the stone to dissipate that energy and get it off the stone into something else, and, you know, or cleanse it, perhaps, and get those energies taken care of. But when you stand firm and you have the grounding stone in the middle, it just helps. So when you do your meditation, so when you pull energy through your feet, remember we talked about the Kundalini Rising. When you're pulling the energy through your feet, when you're pulling the energy up your leg, when you're pulling the energy into your abdominal area, when you're pulling the energy up through your abdomen, when you're pulling the energy into your arms, out your arms, into your hands, trap in your hands, and you project that energy, it's going to be strong. Because you actually grounded yourself properly when you raised your Kundalini. And that's just a jewel, you know, grounding yourself properly. Sometimes, we work in a magical realm, and there's so many different things you can do. I've actually seen people stand on particular sigils as they're grounding their energy and raising their energy. They stand on particular sigils and or whatever that complements what they're doing and what they're working with. Those things can be good for you too. Or you can just naturally put a circle around yourself. One of the ideas and one of the practices that we do is you can use, me, I have a special powder that I use. And I put my special powder down in the circle around me and I stand in it and I draw down the energies. And that's very, very good as far as leveling yourself and balancing yourself. And you draw down the energies and you can work with one at a time. You can work with one at a time. So when you're raising your Kundalini, you can raise up one level at a time. Because each level of the Kundalini energy is actually very powerful. You can actually just deal with one level of the Kundalini energy and you can do almost anything with it. Anything with it. You know what I mean? So having several and a mastery over several is, definitely an advantage for the most part. But having mastery of one is definitely beneficial to your life. So you can raise that energy, and once you get it up, you want to store it, trap it, do as much as you can with it. And when we say store and trap, I'm a hoodoo man. So, I don't get into all the crazy specifics. So I've dropped the Kundalini energy. If I ain't got nothing next to me, my hat right here. Me, y'all know me. I grab me some powder and put some powder in the hat and, blow some and carry the energy with me like that. You know what I mean? That's how it works. For me it does. But, it's just different things you can do to trap that energy, man. You have a stone on you, boom. Pull out your stone and trap the energy there. Channel the energy into the stone. When you raise it up, channel it into that stone. No small stone. I got a few bigger ones in there, but you want to channel that energy there. You know what I mean? Because once the energy is channeled into the stone, then you can store it, take it with you any way you want to, and you can rechannel the energy from the stone. You see? So there's a reason for trapping your Kundalini energy into objects. And you can trap your Kundalini energy into a stone. You definitely can. And then you store it. And you can re-center that energy. Redirect that energy someplace. For example, this is a pyrite. A pyrite. And I always use pyrite for drawing in prosperity. Drawing in, just pulling in anything. It can pull in any, I just pull in anything. So, for the most part, if I am pulling in, I'm trying to draw, let's say I'm drawing a lover back, somebody's lover or whatever, soul mate, whatever you want to call it. I'm drawing this back. And I'm drawing this person back for them. So I'm taking the stone and I'm doing certain things with it, and the effect of it is just doing this here, pulling. So I want to direct that energy in a specific direction, not just pull any old random thing or any random person, this particular person. So I channel that energy straight to that person. And once the energy is channeled there, then I pull it back. But not to me, I'm pulling it back to that person. Pull it back to that person. But that's how it works, for the most part. Just one way that it works. It's not ultimate. In the occult world, in the magical realm, y'all already know it's all about results, what works, and what works best for you, and being connected to real spiritual forces and energies. So for the most part, this medicine man, I don't want to hold y'all up all day. We just was talking briefly about the Kundalini energy and building it up and getting it strong, getting it good, and having that energy working for you. So I want y'all to take care. Peace. Holla back.